How you doing, everyone? Turkey Buzzard here. Hope you're having a good day. Well, I want to start this video out by apologizing. I'm 3 days late with my video. I gave you a video last week of Covenant, and I snuck in a trailer and a sneak preview of this build, and then I totally missed my deadline. I ran into some snags in my personal life, and it prevented me from getting this video out on time. So I'm 3 days late. And I apologize for that, but here we are, we're ready to go. So let's get on with this video and I'll show you what I came up with. I'm facing the south border of the map. That ridge line over there is the south border. And for anyone who's interested, this used to be Somerville Place. The residents have been relocated somewhere down there in the bottom of that river. I know, it's awful of me. But I wanted this place to be empty, so Somervilles are gone. And I built this pyramid. So I'm going to take you through and show you what I ended up with. There's several mods that help me with this, and before I start, I do want to mention a couple of them that were prominent in this build. Number one is the ground mod, which gave me, of course, all this ground to work with. Another one is the USO. Now, unlike settlement objects, I don't talk much about that mod. But it's such a base mod in all my builds. It's there in every build. But because it's so common, I don't normally say anything about the mod. But it is very prominent in most all of my builds. So I think it was time here that I did say something about the USO mod. Also Castle in the Sky, which is a mod for PC, and also Pimp Workshop. Now, I know Pimp Workshop sounds horrible, but that is the mod that actually gave me all these palm trees, ferns, and later on you'll notice a lot of gold items in this build. And those were all from the Pimp Workshop, which is another mod for PC. So those mods were prominent in this build. Anyways, I'm going to take you around the outside, and you'll notice this little pond area here. This little nice area. Surrounded by ferns and palms and some different flowers. And yeah, that was the monument over that way. So this was Somerville Place, but you know, I decided to build this pyramid on here, and this pyramid actually ended up quite a large build. You know, it goes up high and then it goes down below level 2, so it's probably 8, I don't know, 8 maybe 9 levels high, this build. Over here we've got a well. Don't know if I can get a drink or not. There we go. Got some gorillas wandering around up here. And I have found them also below the, down in the bottom of the pyramid wandering around at times. So I don't know, we'll see what happens there. But let's go in and wander around, and I'll show you around, show you what I ended up with here. Now, coming into this first level, these are all up on an upper level, and originally there was just torches here. But it was so dark in here that I knew I couldn't do a video of this, so I added lighting. I had to add the lighting. It doesn't do much for the realism, the aesthetics, for the period effects and whatever. But it was either go with some lighting or make a video where you couldn't see what was going on. So I decided to let you see what's happening here. And these are all tiered seating, so that the Pharaoh's loyal subjects can sit up here and watch whatever ceremonies are going on down on the main level. Now, as we go down onto the main level, you'll notice a gold walkway and a red carpet, and that leads up to the Pharaoh's throne. Before we go over there, we'll check over here. Both sides of the main hall here have tables set up, and I'm assuming these were used for family members and high-ranking staff, so that they had a place to sit and eat during ceremonies. Now this area behind the stairwell has a couple of trunks here. And you'll notice this trunk has 500 silver. There's one over here. Oops. That has 500 gold. So he had some gold and silver available here. Let's walk up the gold stairway here. And there's the Pharaoh's throne. And probably the throne of his priestess. And he could sit here and look over all of his loyal subjects. So now let's wander down here. Over here, we have a kitchen area. Nice area for cooking. Got a nice oven here, all set up. Also a nice cooking pit. So they have plenty of places to cook food for all the people that will be out there attending their ceremonies. Another fresh water well, so that they can have some nice fresh water without having to go outside. All kinds of food staples here. Now I had these wine barrels. They have wine in them. I had no way to get the wine out, you know. They give you these wine barrels and they don't put any spigots or anything on them. So what I did was I turned a fire extinguisher on its side and inserted it in there so it looked like I had a spigot. So I have a way to get wine out of my wine barrels. You know, they should be putting spigots on these, but they don't apparently. So I did it myself. Here we got a nice double tub sink so they can wash their dishes, rinse them. So a nice kitchen setup, you know, that way they can do the cooking and whatever. Different foods in here. Now I'm assuming that the Pharaoh did not have all of his subjects living right here. They probably came to the castle or the pyramid or whatever for the ceremonies, and then once the ceremonies were done, they left and went home, went about their business wherever they lived. However, the Pharaoh did live here, and this is his private bedroom. You'll notice he's got a nice gold bed. Again, from the Pimp Workshop. Many gold materials in that mod. And, you know, he wants to make sure he's got, well, if I can see in there. There we go. 500 silver in that trunk. 500 gold here. So he makes sure to keep plenty of gold and silver on hand. Nice animal rug here. And of course when the Pharaoh goes, he goes in style. Gotta be gold. Of course afterwards he's got a nice stone sink so he can tidy up afterward. And a nice little lounge area. Now normally you would think that's it for the build, but there is a hidden wall here. And this hides areas from the normal subjects. I'm assuming the only ones that knew about these areas down here are the most important family members and highest ranking staff in the realm. So other than that, most other people did not even know about these areas. So let's wander these areas and see what is down here. This first place off to the left is not real interesting. It's just a storage area. Looks like it's a storage for food, wines, hides, things like that. Like I said, not real interesting, but if you're running a huge realm or whatever you want to call it, you really want to make sure that you have the food and things to feed your people, so they would need an area like this. Now down to this end is something a little more interesting. The Pharaoh's private sauna. Place to come and sit down. Can even come up here and take a bath. You know, it's a hard job sitting on the throne all day, lording all over all of your slaves and your peons and your toadies. It's a hard life, so he needs to come down, take a nice refreshing bath, cool off, and take it easy for a little while. Really nice area. Now down here is a couple of areas. This two areas. This area here and this area over here. And I'm assuming they were reserved for the lower ranking family members and whatever. So they are the caskets, crypts, whatever you want to call them, for the lesser ranked family members. Now, it might surprise you to know that these are not all family members that are here. In my playthroughs lately, for some reason, if I decide to sleep or sit and wait, all of a sudden I get all these settlers start showing up. So every time I waited here and I slept here to pass time, I ended up with all these settlers showing up, and I couldn't get rid of them. They would not go away. So they irritated me after a while, and that being said, I've got a couple of finches buried here. I know there's a couple of Warwicks, some odd and end individuals from, I think there's a couple from the Slog here. So I have a lot of I have a lot of settlers buried here that shouldn't really be here probably. And if I decide to do builds at those settlements, I guess I'm going to have to do them on a different playthrough. But I had to do something to get rid of these guys because I didn't want them hanging out here. You know, I wanted this place to be pretty much empty. You know, it's supposed to be an archaeological site, not a party for all my settlers. So, but that's that area. Now down here on the left, this is a treasury room. All of his treasures are in here. All of the in this trunk. 1,000 silver. Here we've got a trunk. It's got all kinds of looks like some special weapons, some gold, some other weapons, different things. Here's another trunk. 1,000 gold. All kinds of stuff. Silver bars, gold bars everywhere. Different museum relics and artifacts and paintings and different things. So it looks like he was keeping his treasure in here. So that's the treasure room. Now down here, this room at first appears to be some type of a bedroom or a harem room. But the fact that the door was bolted and there's not much in this room, just beds. Plus, it opens to this hallway which leads to a sacrificial chamber. So, I don't think that was a harem room. Apparently, the Pharaoh was bringing people up here and sacrificing them to the fire gods. And here we see we got some shackles on the posts here. We've got some looks like some swords on the walls and a fire pit. So it looks like the Pharaoh was trying to appease the gods in some way, shape, or form, and was regularly sacrificing people. Which leaves just the Pharaoh's tomb, and you're probably wondering, well, where is it? Well, we already passed it. When we came out of the treasury room, across from the treasury was another false wall. And here we have a totally gold room. This room, the entire room is made of gold. And it's the Pharaoh's tomb. $500 silver there. Actually 5,000 gold. All kinds of neat stuff. And you'll notice the stone lid is moved off the top of his crypt. So let's take a look here. Looks like he's got his favorite weapon and his favorite cat. And he's going to go into the afterlife with his favorite weapon and his favorite cat, which was, I believe, common back then to take their favorite animals and weapons with them when they went into the afterlife, along with all of their treasures. The disturbing thing here is, doesn't he appear to be a synth? He looks an awful lot like a synth to me. What does that say about the Pharaoh? Maybe the Pharaoh was a synth back then? Who knows? The only thing I do know is the Pharaoh was obviously a very rich man who was never in debt in his entire life. But he's in the hole now. So anyways, that's the Pharaoh's golden tomb. This was a really fun build to put together. I had a lot of fun doing this build. I would love to have gotten it out on time, but it wasn't possible. So I'll just have to be happy with being 3 days late with it. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button. I always appreciate it when you do. And as always, subscribe for new videos. I put out new videos every week. More or less. Except for this week. Now, I'm not sure about this coming week. I'm thinking that instead of trying to rush ahead and get a video out by Wednesday, I'm just going to go ahead and keep working on my builds. And I'll put a video out on the 20th. Wednesday the 20th. I believe that was the date. And then that way I'll get back on schedule. But as I said, I do want to thank everyone for watching. Appreciate it if you hit that like button. Appreciate it more if you hit that subscribe button. And I want to thank everybody who has subscribed. And I want to thank everyone for watching this video. But I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. And I'll see you again in a few days.